I call December 3rd, 2025, meeting for the Civil Rights Board to order at 5:03 p.m. I do apologize for the late start. We wanted to make sure we had quorum. Law, can I have a roll call, please?
Yes, ma'am. Chair Faison.
Present.
Vice Chair Lukeman.
Here.
Director Moore Doyle. Here. Director Calderon.
I haven't spoke with her.
Director Sibling.
Excused.
Director DeBoer.
Present.
Commissioner Hoffman.
I haven't spoke with her either.
And that is roll call.
Thank you, Law. At this time, I will entertain a motion to adopt the agenda for today's meeting.
Motion to adopt today's agenda.
It was moved by Vice Chair Lukeman. Is there a second? And it was seconded by Director Moore Doyle. And can we put on that Director Calderon has made it to the meeting? And we will be adopting the agenda as presented. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Any opposed? Abstentions? Agenda is adopted. At this time, I'll also entertain a motion to adopt the minutes for October 1st, 2025 Civil Rights Board meeting. Is there a motion?
So moved, Ursula Moore Doyle.
Thank you, Director Moore Doyle. Is there a second?
Second.
It is a second by Vice Chair Lukeman. Is there any discussion? All of those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? The minutes for October 1st, 2025 Civil Rights Board meeting has been adopted. Do we have any public announcements and communications, Law?
No, we do not.
Thank you. Our first item for discussion will be the board chair nomination and election. So we put this on the agenda because it was brought to Law's attention that my term for chair is exceeded the limited time. Chair is only supposed to serve for one-year terms. You always can continue with more than one term. Doing a little bit more research, we also realized that that happens in February at every annual meeting at the beginning of the year. So with that being said, in February, we will go through and we will do the nominations for a chair. That also includes the vice chair, where the chair has the ability to also appoint a new vice chair or keep the same vice chair. So we wasn't sure at the time when we put this on the agenda, I will say that, when it is actually done. Only because no one has really stayed in the vice chair seat a year, and it was never done in February. So, any discussion?
So to confirm, in our February meeting, we will vote for vice, or for chair, and then the chair nominates the new vice chair, just for clarity.
So from what I saw, I believe that vice chair is still nominated as well. So it's by the members and can be appointed by the chair. So that will take place in February. Any other discussion? Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Director Doyle.
To just make sure I understand this, so you're termed out, you cannot be chair anymore, period?
No, I cannot term out. I only can do one-year terms.
Okay.
And so
Can't be reelected?
I can be reelected. My term is exceeded 1 year.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I understand.
Thank you. Okay, we will move along to the next item on the agenda, and that is board roles and participation discussion. We have different subcommittees. We have individuals that are on the subcommittees from the board, as well as community members. So we wanted to, one, lift up making sure that if you are part of a subcommittee, that you are diligently participating with that subcommittee, making sure that we are attending the meetings, as well as parts of the board where it is. We're going to have more discussion moving forward as far as how we can be a more active board and what roles we can take. What else was there for?
So the DEI department, in our preparation meeting for our board meeting, they have informed us that LUL provides our subcommittees and our board a significantly more amount of support than other folks in other departments for subcommittees. And with that being said, the DEI department will need to take a step back in their roles in the subcommittee. What that means is LUL has been taking amazing meeting minutes for us, organizing meetings, really doing a lot of heavy lifting, if you will, as it relates to our subcommittee meetings. And in order for the DEI department to realign with what other departments are doing in the city, they've informed us that our subcommittees will need to step up and take their own meeting minutes, as well as do more coordination amongst each other. So they wanted to give us, put us on notice for that change coming as of January 1st. And Lal, if I missed anything, please let me know.
I want to clarify to the board, Madison, you did a great job, but stepping back doesn't mean we won't be around at all. We'll be still around to answer questions and provide support and connect you with interdepartments. This is just a matter of we are having our DI assessment, and that is a priority for our office. So we are still going to be around. We will handle the SharePoint and all that is needed from our department. But yes, meeting notes and coordination will be left for subcommittee initiatives.
I also will add to, we've had a little discussion also around, because we currently use Teams to meet. So if you are part of a subcommittee and you are familiar with Teams, that may be helpful as well, just trying to see about virtual meeting notes, if we could be able to accomplish those, or if we would also be able to use a different platform. But during your subcommittee, we should be able to have more information, because law is going to be looking into that as well. Any other discussion?
I just want to say thank you to Lal for the support that she has provided our subcommittees and the board. I think that her and Director Hewitt-Smith do an exceptional job. So I just want to say thank you, and we're sad that we can't utilize your skills, Lal. So.
I definitely want to echo that. Thank you so much for everything. We definitely get detailed minutes from all of our meetings, so from these meetings as well as the subcommittee meetings. At this time, we're going to move along to our next item on the agenda. Law also has a presentation, Imagine Kalamazoo 2035. And I will let her give you a little information about that and get that started.
Hello, everyone. I will be giving a brief presentation on what Imagine Kalamazoo 2035 will look like when it comes to timeline for the city and for the community. So the presentation agenda, this is what I will be focusing on, what we've done, future planning, and where community can be involved. As of right now, we are past the Planet, but I will cover what happened during Imagine It and Planet. We are planning to start going into Design It, and that is where we want to focus on, and that is where I will, after the presentation, we'll be asking one of our board members to serve as one of our board liaison for the Design It portion of Imagine Kalamazoo. So in the Imagine It portion, the main focus of this portion was to ask the very broad questions, such as what was transformative over the last 10 years, what remains an obstacle or a challenge, and how do we use this information to look forward to the next 10 years. So some of the things that our CPED staff and staff in general did was complete meeting on the goes, Imagine Kalamazoo reading, community-wide surveys, and virtual and in-person input activities, as well as taking the road on presentation on a road show. So that included doing online surveys, meeting with boards, doing the Happy City book read, and having residents have their own meetings and sharing results with city staff. And from the notes that I took that Christina Anderson provided, all board liaison is that the Happy City book read was a great success, as a number of community members who read the book and watched the TED Talk that is associated with the book. And it is noted that people can read the book and still watch the TED Talk, and I will provide you all information to reach out to Christina to get links to that. In the Planet portion, there was public meetings and focus groups. First, it started with 5 public meetings in March and April with the community. There were small group discussions focused on goals and outcomes, and an online companion survey was also attached to that. Moving from there, there was a completion of 8 topic-specific focus groups with community subject expert meetings, 1 meeting with staff experts, and a report-out summary, and then a peer-facilitated exercise. And this kind of focused on asking the question, did we meet the right goal statement? Do we have enough information to define the goal and create outcomes? And from both the Imagine It and Planet portion, we've had 735 meeting on the go participants, over 256 participants that attended the pop-up engagement, 199 attended presentations, 565 attended public meetings, over 1,000 surveys were completed, 50 partner meetings were attended, and 942 people participated in the Happy City book. And then there was over 118 youth art projects, and that equals to nearly 4,300 points of contact. So to take Imagine It and Plan It, we also utilize impactful data. That included data sources from Target Market Analysis, the National Community Survey, the SS4A Plan, and combining the 4,300 points of contacts through the community voices, and along with best practices and staff expertise from staff point of view, we use those lenses to move from engagement to refinement. Imagine Kalamazoo 2035 is inherently a public process, but it does have to occur both internally and externally. The community vision was crafted by both the public and staff. The organization purpose was crafted by city staff. The organization purpose and values was developed by staff to set shared expectations, and the guiding principles and goals was established by city staff and community collaboration. So the vision statement for 2035 is in 2035, all Kalamazoo neighborhoods are supported by sustainable, responsive, and accessible services that lift people up and bring our community together at every stage. And that was developed from public comment and staff review. The organizational purpose reads, our purpose is to provide essential resources, services, and exceptional customer service to ensure the well-being of our residents and the sustainable growth of our city. And that covers from the staff portion why we do things we do. And these are our organizational values. They were developed from staff conversations at retreats. This internal organization sets us up for implementation success and forms the base from which we work. So our values include integrity, learning, inclusion, customer service, accountability, teamwork, and safety. So for Imagine Kalamazoo 2035, we are working on our strategic vision framework. We do not yet have the full strategic vision document completed, but we are presenting a framework for achieving a happy, healthy city. So this is where we discuss alignment. How do we go from engagement plan to implementation? We've already discussed the engagement process with best practices, data research, and community involvement. Now we move on to strategic vision, which is from a staff perspective, that is our North Star. Other plans will align with it. In 2035, we spent more time setting us up internally so that we are successful when it comes to implementation. So this occurred in two ways. The government strategy document. That document lives within our city manager's office. Our leadership looks at plan actions and thinks about future budgets and capacity and how departments can work together to achieve the community vision. The second portion is the department plans, and that lives in each department. It's more shorter-term plans. They look out a few years to think through department-specific budget and capacity to achieve the community vision, but both align with the strategic plan as a whole. So we are on our strategic internal strategies and measures. What I want to note, as it was noted to me, is that there are 15 neighborhood meetings to confirm draft and creation of the master plan. So there will still be community involvement regarding our internal master plan. These are some of our guiding principles. They're like threads that weave their way through all our work, starting from strategic vision all the way down to other plans and works that we do. So the guiding principles for the City of Kalamazoo is diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility, sustainability, operational excellence, economic mobility, and continuous engagement. And these are our strategic goals that align with the previous guiding principles. I will read them as arts, culture, and placemaking, community trust and safety, economic vitality, effective city operations, environment, housing, transportation, youth, and family. And the strategic vision, there are still a few remaining steps for the strategic vision for review and approval. So once it is drafted, that will be presented to the City Commission as a draft. And with that, there will be an open comment period, most likely 30 days before City Commission does its final review. I believe the City Commission does their budget discussion and approval in March of 2027, in March of next year. So we're moving into Design It, which starts this winter. This includes doing neighborhood meetings, doing online activities, and we hope to do more book clubs as we found success in that, doing more focus groups to discuss on strategies and metrics and building on conversations that were discussed in spring of 2024. So this is, again, the overview of what Imagine Kalamazoo and the steps that it is looking like. It is our timeline, meaning it's staff timeline, as we've already adjusted it on multiple occasions to make sure that we have given enough proper space to engage the community. And if there's any more questions, or if anyone in the board or the community would like more information, they can reach out to Christina Anderson or Rebecca Kick, my apologies. I also want to note that both Christina and Rebecca did present this slide, probably way better than I did, to the City Commission on September 15th, and that was streamed as well. And that is it for my presentation.
Thank you, Lau. So we'll just have a little bit of discussion. Director Burpee is no longer part of the board. She did end up resigning. So we currently do have an open seat that we were going to be discussing in our next item on the agenda. Now, she was actually the contact person, is that correct, Lau, for this Imagine 2035? So that is going to be, we will have to decide who would want to be that person. It's not something that we can have to decide today, but it could be something just to put on everybody's mind to see and try to figure out who would want to be that liaison from the board, from the Civil Rights Board. Any questions or discussion?
The question I would have is, what is the role of this board liaison to Imagine Kalamazoo? What is the purpose of that?
And I would say that would be a law question.
To answer your question, from what I'm understanding with Christina, is just taking part in at least one Imagine Kalamazoo event, whether that is attending one of their community meetings or the neighborhood meetings or taking part in the online survey. They just ask for participation from the board because they have a unique perspective as being board members and being a part of the community as well.
Thank you, Lau. Any other questions? Okay, at this time, we will move to our next item on the agenda, which is board membership and subcommittee appointment. So as I said, Director Burpee is not with us anymore. She also was part of the education subcommittee, so there is also a space available there. And so I was going to ask you, Director Moradoro, if that's something that you would be interested in considering. You haven't had the opportunity to be part of the one of our subcommittees. And please feel free to ask any questions regarding the subcommittee.
Okay, well, when does the subcommittee meet? When does the subcommittee meet?
The subcommittee currently meets bi-weekly on Mondays at 1 p.m. And maybe, Director, before you make a decision, I did prepare an educational subcommittee update that might help you guide your decision. Kathy, if you're okay with me sharing that update right now. Okay. So the educational subcommittee has had 6 total meetings. We have the following agencies represented on the subcommittee outside of our board members: Housing Resources Incorporated, Disability Network of Southwest Michigan, Open Doors, Kalamazoo Defender, Jacobson Management Company, and Fair Housing Center of Southwest Michigan. We are seeking representation from an impacted community member and the COC. The committee advised providing compensation for the impacted community members' attendance. My company, Lukeman Group, offered to compensate these individuals for up to a certain amount, but unfortunately, the private donation is not allowable per the city attorney's office, and the DEI department does not currently have this in their budget. It has also been suggested by the subcommittee to have more landlord involvement in the subcommittee. I did reach out to 4 additional landlords that did not wish to participate. We have established an educational subcommittee SharePoint file hosted by the City of Kalamazoo that allows the board to collect, share, and collaborate information. We have not yet established the co-leadership of the subcommittee. We're looking for that leadership to be 1 board member, 1 agency member, and 1 impacted community member. With Director Burpee stepping down, we kindly ask that another board member participate in our educational subcommittee. It has also been suggested in our meetings for the meeting time to be changed to reflect the schedules of the participating members. We have not had another time suggestion submitted in the subcommittee to have that changed. So again, I would, if there is another meeting suggestion, a meeting time suggestion or day, we just need it to be brought forward. The subcommittee has made a formal request to the city attorney's office for an educational review of the ordinance. We hope that this review from the city attorney's office will be in Q1 of 2026. The subcommittee established the need for an informational material prior to attending community events. Because of the length of the ordinance, the subcommittee needs to establish which specific areas of the ordinance we would be seeking media to be produced. As an example, application fees, income, eviction history. The city would produce this material. I have made multiple email and in-meeting requests for input from the community to be emailed to the participating board members. There have been only 2 submissions. One was my own, and the other was from Jacobson Management Company. In this document that the board members have in front of you, it will show you what categories that I put on, as well as Jacobson emailed me their input directly. So those areas that we're interested in producing media are associated with the rental application fees and the refunding of those fees, landlord records, as well as income and eviction history, criminal convictions, and how to advertise, as well as domestic violence that is referenced in the ordinance. The last 2 educational subcommittee meetings were canceled. November 17th, the meeting was canceled due to Director Burpee's resignation from the board and only having 1 response to this survey that I've put into this paragraph. The December 1st meeting was also canceled due to the school closings. I thought that was a function of, I personally had all 3 of my children with me, so it would have been challenging to try to host a meeting. Since we have had 2 landlord responses to the request for ordinance topics on Monday, I made a request to the city for the creation of media, which would include a trifold brochure, a one-pager, and a social media post with landlord and housing provider audience in mind. Once created by the City Communications Department, it will then be sent back to the Educational Subcommittee for review and final approval. Our hope would be that other community members will submit their opinions on the ordinance topics for further creation of media to be used at events, community organization offices, the city offices, et cetera. That is my, that is an Educational Subcommittee update. I appreciate the time.
Thank you for that update. I'm not sure if you brought it up. I do know that per our discussion and with it being the landlords who had actually made the contribution, there was discussion around maybe even doing 2 different pamphlets, one that is geared more towards the landlords and another one that is geared more towards community members.
Yes, I think that that was a great offering from the community members on the subcommittee. Because I had responses from, myself as a landlord representative and another landlord, the only other landlord on this subcommittee, I felt it appropriate to at least submit that request for media to the city so we could start producing something for review.
Okay, thank you. Any other updates? And can you just reiterate what day and time it currently is?
So the subcommittee meetings are on Mondays, and our next subcommittee meeting is scheduled for December 15th at 1 p.m.
And that is every other Monday?
That is every other Monday, correct. And it's via Zoom or via Teams.
Okay. And so I'm not sure who all raised, I'm definitely positive Director Calderon had raised concern about time. What is the best way to figure out a time that is, one is not going to be able to probably find a time that's going to work for everybody, but definitely finding a time that's going to accommodate the majority of the people that are part of it, and especially the board members that are going to be a part of it.
Yeah, so I actually, probably in the month of October, I created a Google survey using, my own business Google account. And then it was advised by the city that we not use our personal accounts. So I had to take that survey back down. So I made an attempt to survey the crew, and then I had to take that down. But I'm open to suggestions, is how I would say that. So if there's another way to figure out how to get everyone to a different meeting time, just let me know.
So I will ask, if we're not able to use our personal accounts, is there another way, law, that can be done?
I suggested several options for the subcommittee, several being that they email me availabilities that they would like, and I could create a survey for them. There's also SharePoint, and that can use forms, and on forms you can create a survey, and that is, SharePoint is something that each board member has access to, so there were alternative options provided. So I will leave it up to the subcommittee to decide if they would like to create their own survey, or if they would like to, or if they would, the subcommittee, both board and community members that part of it, if they would like to send me their, what dates they would like, I could also do that and create a survey.
Okay, thank you. And so I'm really trying to push to make sure that the subcommittee is able to meet and get some things done. I'm not sure how many people have been attending. I know that there are still some organizations have been waiting to see if they were going to attend. This has also been kind of a busy time towards the year with some of the people that I know that the offer was extended to. And so I'm just asking that we get a time figured out. If the easiest thing is to email Law with times that would be convenient for everybody or more people, just want to make sure, because we've been working, and it seems like we've been working on so many different things almost over the past couple of years, and a lot of people are just wanting to see progress now. And so if it's kind of taken care of, where it just needs a little more tweaking, if 2 pamphlets are put out, one is on the landlord side, we need the community organization as well as organizations and members to be on full throttle too, so we can try to make sure we get a pamphlet out for the community. Any other discussion? Well, I will ask also, Director Moore-Doyle, did you think about being part of the education subcommittee?
Unfortunately, the time doesn't work for me. I've already made other commitments for the time on Mondays.
Okay, thank you.
I would be willing, and I think Director Sipling would be willing if she had the time available. I know that there was some interest there as well. So just throwing that out there.
Okay, thank you. So we would only be able to have one more, so it wouldn't be quorum. So I would just say you and Director Sipling can reach out and have a conversation with Vice Chair Lukeman to see who would want to be part of the education subcommittee. The other thing is, like we said, we currently have a seat that is open. So once again, we are encouraging individuals to apply. And I guess that's the thing I would ask as far as what subcommittee is it that does the interviews?
Yeah, nomination subcommittee, which currently includes Director Calderon, myself, and Commissioner Hoffman.
Okay, so I know we did get quite a few applications that came in already, so I don't know if you would be willing to sit down and even go over some of those applications.
This is Director Calderon-West. So we actually have an application, a strong applicant, that I believe we're just waiting to confirm a time frame on a particular day, upcoming week or so.
And so would that be for an interview, Director Calderon?
Yes.
Thank you.
Director Moore-Doyle, would you be interested in being a part of the nomination committee? I'd be willing to take a step back from that committee if you'd be interested in interviewing the applicants for the board.
Sure, yes, I'd be interested in doing that.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, I appreciate that, Director Moore-Doyle. So, you will be part of the nomination committee. And, okay, yeah. Any other discussion? Okay, we'll move along to our next item on the agenda, and that is going to be our meeting schedule for 2026. So currently we meet every other month. First meeting of the year will be in February. So as of now, I think, Law, do we just need to approve this? Okay.
I will make a motion to approve the 2026 meeting schedule.
Thank you, Vice Chair Lickman. Is there a second?
I'll second it. Ursula Moore Doyle.
Thank you, Director Mordoll. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Schedule for 2026 Civil Rights Board meetings has been adopted. At this time, we will take public comments. You have 3 minutes. Please sign in.
Hi, my name is Shona Espinoza. Sorry, it's been a minute. So I came to speak on the Education Subcommittee. Somebody had reached out to me when I was here at a City Commission meeting to be on that board. And then also, I had reached out to Kathy, but Kathy, I know you're busy. But, so I guess there was a meeting saying that they had already reached out to me by email and that I said I couldn't make it to some meetings, but nobody ever reached out to me. I didn't speak to anybody about that subcommittee. So for somebody to assume or just throw it out there like that, because this is something that I would like to do, but I'm just like feeling some type of way for somebody to lie and say that they did. It really takes me back a little bit to not want to, but then I took some time to think about it. Maybe that was their agenda for me not to want to be on that board. But I would say the lack of communication with some of that, and then following up or even making sure you reach out and be transparent about it and honest if you really didn't, because I am the type of person, if you ask me to do something, I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to show up and do it. If you reach out to me, I'm going to respond to you. So I'm just feeling some type of way for somebody to lie about me responding and them reaching out, because I went through my emails like crazy looking to make sure I didn't miss something, but it wasn't there, and I never responded. So I just wanted to bring that to y'all attention. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Evening, everybody. Toby Hannah Davies, and I live in Edison or Millwood. I'm not sure which because I'm right on the line at Heritage Community. I was taken by the Imagine Kalamazoo 2035 presentation, and it made me think I would, I come to as many of these meetings as I can, and I'm part of Isaac that has worked hard to make sure this board is fully functioning, fully of quorum, and also that you're able to really make a difference on our housing equity ordinance enforcement, which is really important to us. So what I'm getting at is I hope that at least one of you, and maybe more than one of you, will go to those events for Imagine Kalamazoo 2035 and not just attend, but speak up about making sure that equity is very much a part of all different aspects of the plan as it's now being, in the design phase. This is a really important phase for making sure that public comments about where equity is really needed to be improved, your voices will be really important. So I really hope that at least one of you, but several or all of you can participate in those, and would really help make a difference. I also wanted to thank you for the progress in the Education Subcommittee on getting work done on those 2 kinds of pamphlets or trifolds, whatever you're going to create for tenants and for landlords. I think that's a great idea. Thank you for this work. A lot of us are rooting for you. We want you to remember that. Thanks.
Thank you. Next.
First time making this meeting, so I apologize for if I'm a little bit awkward. Do you have to say like your name or something? Okay, so I'm Dawn Miller, and I guess I'm familiar with Toby from some of the city's recycling programs. So to echo her as somebody who participated in the NACD Imagine Kalamazoo meetings, I am also really interested in that next planet phase. I had a suggestion or a thought when you all were talking about the education subcommittee meeting times, and I don't mean to interject on that one in any way other than have you all ever, or would the city be open to using something like SurveyMonkey that helps people find meeting times? That's something I've used in, I think when we were at Michigan Works trying to coordinate with community partners, that was something that we used to kind of narrow down top 3 options for meeting. And I guess I'm not really sure yet. I'm, like I said, really interested in the planet phase, and partly because one of the things that bubbled up at the Imagine Kalamazoo Design It, I think, was the meeting that we were there where we grouped up into tables. One of the things that we really have a need for, I think, on the north side is a laundromat that's within a couple bus sections. And also recently, and I don't know if this is the right committee, but it feels like the right one to bring up, with this last election, I learned a little bit more about where the precinct lines are. So I'm in precinct 7, if I remember right, but basically I'm a block and a half from the divide at Patterson, but the precinct voting poll for my place is over at the, I don't know if you could picture an upside down parallelogram. It's nowhere central in the way they divide that. I don't know what the wording is, I'm sorry. So I just, yeah, trying to be more involved in bubbling up concerns that affect our area. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more comments? I don't see anyone. Do we have anyone on the phone log?
We do not.
Thank you. So at this time, the board is able to finish up with a comment.
I'd like to address Ms. Espinoza's comment, because I was digging through my email associated with her participation in the subcommittee. I have an email from Lowell to the subcommittee on November 6th requesting Ms. Espinoza's email address, but I'd have to ask you if you had received it. So I guess what I would say to the community is, since Ms. Espinoza had to leave, if anyone has her email address, if you could please leave it with Lowell so we can make contact, please.
Anyone else?
I have a quick question, Madam Chair. The nomination committee, I should have asked the same thing. Would that be someone putting together a survey as far as when we could all meet to do interviews, or is it already a set time for interviews?
I will let you answer that because you're part of it as well. So,
So yeah, essentially, we email each other times that we're available, because it's not just us, members also as well from the city have to be there. Excuse me. So like right now, I think there's a time frame on the 18th that we're looking at, but I would be open to using any platform. I think for some clarity, we can use different platforms. It's just always been a matter of communicating with our board and our subcommittees and the public. That's what tends to be, it can be tricky, and that's what I keep hearing as a barrier to really making some of these things a little bit more efficient. For instance, communication with the public about the times of the meetings that we want them to be a part of. And honestly, that's been frustrating for me. And that was part of the reason, that I brought up the times that we were meeting. The majority, and I'm grateful to have people involved from these organizations, but that's, we're missing representation from other community members. So the best way to communicate with the public right now is that's not that clear. So for the nominating committee, it is in fact only people from the board, so that's how we primarily communicate. But I just didn't want that to get confused with some of the other things we were talking about today, which is how the board and the subcommittees communicate with the public.
Okay. I also want to address Ms. Espinosa's comment. I'm not sure, but I thought I sent an email with her email address. I will have to go back and check and see, because it wasn't just an email. I believe I piggybacked off an email, but if not, I will definitely make sure her email is sent to you all, because I do have her email. She did reach out to me with wanting to be part of the educational subcommittee, and I hope that's not sitting somewhere in a draft, because I believe I did send that email off. So I will apologize if it was that, and the other thing or question I wondered was if I had actually sent the wrong email. So I'm going to double check and make sure that all that information was correct. I also want to piggyback off the Imagine 2035 as well, and just saying the concerns that people have, like the laundromat on the north side. That is something that was awesome to bring up. This is where I always say people have to come, use your voice, advocate, get in friends, other community members, and it is very important to attend events, attend city commission meetings and different things, but we need community to be engaged, because when we're not heard, then that's how things happen and we're not involved. But we're definitely going to make sure that we have representation at the meetings, whoever is the liaison. And I'm pretty sure through the work that I do, I will be at some of the other ones as well. Okay, so that is it for comments this evening, and at this time I will entertain a motion to dismiss.
I'll enter the motion to dismiss.
Is there a second?
Second.
December 3rd, 2025 Civil Rights Board meeting ends at 5:56 p.m. Thank you all for coming out, especially in this cold weather. Have a good evening. Okay, the meeting has ended. Last thing, they just want to make sure that everyone